In the legends and tales of China's West, this land is often forgotten. But in reality, this land is one of the birthplaces of the world's nomadic civilizations. The Altai Mountains. The Altai Mountains, a cradle of life, a stopover of civilization. Harsh, untouched nature has preserved the region's original species, ancient communities, and ways of life that remain far from the modern world. Prehistoric rivers, ancient seas, sand dunes built up over millions of years. The isolated creatures living among them. Each one feels like it exists beyond time and space. Mist in the woods, wind on the peaks, roaring valleys, silent snowy lands. Each place feels close to heaven and away from the world's clamor. Under a sky full of stars, wilderness unfolds. These scenes feel like they have been here since the world began. A piece of untouched earth quietly preserved in Altai. To the deep rhythm of the shower. Life in the forest flows calmly, year after year, unchanged for millennia. In late September, temperatures drop sharply. Moist air condenses into mist. The valley traps the cold air, creating just the right conditions for morning fog to form and linger. Kanas, in Mongolian, means beautiful, rich, and mysterious, or lake in the canyon. If mysterious describes the morning mist, then the lake in the canyon is where it all begins. Follow the Kanas River upstream, and you'll reach its source, China's deepest moraine-dammed lake, Kanas Lake. The lake reaches 188.5 meters, holding 5.38 billion cubic meters of water. Fed by snowmelt. From the Altai's towering peaks, even the smallest spring can eventually swell into a mighty river. Downstream, the river is lined with dense forest. Dark green, bright green, deep jade. Shades of green shift in the light, layered and full of depth. Sunlight spills over the soft ridges of the Altai, gilding 10,000 square kilometers of taiga. Below Friendship Peak, Siberian spruce, Siberian fir, Siberian pine, larch, birch, and European aspen grow together into broadleaf forests. Here lies the West Siberian taiga's southernmost reach. Beneath the thick canopy, shrubs compete to grow, creating a full ecosystem from fungi at the base to berries at the top. Red deer, brown bears, snow leopards, weasels, they grow strong in the forest's hush. Smoke from morning fires and waking herds rises with the dawn. Fresh milk is strained, stirred with wooden sticks, and left to ferment. The surface thickens into a layer of rich cream. In ancient China, this prized yogurt was known as tihu. When heated, tihu releases steam, which cools into a kind of milk wine. The solids left behind are cut into pieces, sun-dried, and turned into Tuva Mongolian's year-round snack, milk curds. Beyond the smoke and daily life rise the Altai Mountains. They stretch for 2,000 kilometers, a quarter of which lies in China. Its peaks range from 1,000 to 3,000 meters high, with Friendship Peak reaching 4,374 meters. To the south of the Altai, between this range and the Tian Shan Mountains, lies the vast Ulungur Basin, China's second largest. Every peak gives rise to a ceaseless river. In spring, the ice melts. These rivers, frozen for nearly half a year, wake up and burst into life, loud and rushing. The Altai Mountains split the water into two main systems. The Irtysh River and the Ulungur River wind their way along the mountains. Mountain valleys provide shelter for countless lives, making this soil one of humanity's earliest cradles. Over eons of geological change, peaks turned into gorges, and lakes became tucked away deep in the forest. Meltwater from glaciers keeps the lakes crystal clear. The lakes mirror the mountain views as forests, grasslands, and water spread out. Moisture from the vegetation seeps into the ground, and under the right conditions, it resurfaces as springs and streams that provide steady water to lakes and wetlands. Nature runs in cycles, again and again. The valleys are home to Tuva Mongol villages. For generations, the Tuva have lived in harmony with the forest. Kanas, Hemu, Baihaba. These Tuva villages carry a quiet, steady spirit shaped by the forest. That sense of purity drew Wang Yiqi from Shanghai to the foot of the Altai Mountains. On the sunlit slopes lies Narain grassland, a heavenly pasture. This was a filming location for the TV drama To the Wonder. Baihaba's simplicity and purity turned fiction into real life.
Two chapters in, I thought, wow, this is Baihaba. It felt like my life was being written down. It even felt like I was living exactly what Li Juan once experienced. This year, they filmed To the Wonder here, in Baihaba Village. It felt like a dream coming true.
The Altai Mountains are the crossroads of civilization. Thousands of years ago, people here began shifting from forest hunters to grassland herders. The forest lives on in memory through the Tuva people's traditional flute, the shower. The mandalshi is a herb that grows in the forest. With 3 holes carved into its stem, it becomes a grass flute called the shower. Its soft, far-reaching notes don't just take you back to ancient times. They bring you back to childhood. In fairy tale wooden cabins, You can feel the carefree spirit of being a child. People once sat around fires and carved their memories into stone. These simple lines and mysterious symbols may tell the story of a migration most splendid in human history. The Altai petroglyph corridor stretches for miles, and each carving preserves an ancient tale. These carvings tell of those moments. Nomadic tribes made this superb feat in the sacred land of the Altai. In late spring, the eastern Altai remains dry and cold. Under vast skies, 3 alpine lakes stretch east to west along the valley. On the east bank, giant stone mounds rise up. A dozen of them, in varying sizes, form a ritual site. Their presence supports the scenes depicted in the nearby rock art. Archaeological findings show these mounds were built around 800 BC in the Western Zhou period. To build an altar with such a massive size in such ancient times, where did the builders find the wealth, the organization, and the ambition to defy time? Standing tall, the reindeer stones lock ancient secrets within the rock. The key to unlocking those secrets lies at the foot of the Altai Mountains by the Irtysh River. Over 5,000 years ago on a cold night, in a cave on the river's southern bank, the spark of civilization was lit. Tongtian Cave, Xinjiang's oldest known human dwelling. The early human remains found here have thrilled archaeologists. Brushing away layers of time, they uncovered carbonized barley and millet seeds. Dating results and sediment layers show that over 5,000 years ago, the people who lived here already knew how to farm and smelt metal. Grains powered the next leap forward in civilization. No road runs longer than the one you walk. Seasonal migration has been a living epic, passed down for generations by the nomads of the Altai Mountains. On the migration path, every gorge, every spring, and every pasture is etched into herder Tokudison's memory. Riding loose-reined defines life on the range. Chihuahua is a trail herders opened through the valleys. Sheep descend hillsides, plunging hundreds of meters. Once they cross this point, the path flattens out. The journey to the summer pastures is over 300 kilometers. Each summer, at countless passes into the highlands, the same migration plays out. In these unpredictable valleys, herders rely on experience to avoid risk. The Altai fat-tailed sheep travel 800 kilometers yearly. They are among the world's most enduring sheep breeds. On the journey, the lead sheep is a herder's trusted guide. Whether crossing passes or fording rushing rivers, it sets the example for the whole flock. Throughout the summer, herders relocate, roughly every 2 weeks. This rotational grazing, like rivers changing course, has lasted for generations. Where the forest ends, the Jungar Basin spans the Altai-Tian Shan Gap. It is like the region's capillaries, and even its furthest ends pulse with vitality. At the heart of the basin, vast stretches of dunes stretch across an area more than twice the size of Taiwan, China. This is the Gurbantunggut Desert, China's second largest desert. Drought-resistant plants cling to life here, with waxy coatings that protect them from extreme heat and evaporation. As China's largest fixed and semi-fixed desert, Gurbantunggut was once a vast ocean eons ago. After the sea dried up, Jurassic and Cretaceous seabed layers were carved by wind and water, shaping ravines and cliffs, known as Yardang landforms. Through eons, Wutsai City became a terrain of vibrant, wind-sculpted hills. Nature gave this place an extraordinary range of geological features. Untouched by farming or fire, it preserves a glimpse of Earth's ancient past. To the east of the Jungar Basin lies China's largest reserve for wild, hoofed animals. The reserve is named after the Altai Mountains. The Mongolian wild ass is the largest ungulate in the reserve. They roam the open range in family groups. Goitered gazelles roam together. When threatened, they can bolt at nearly 60 kilometers an hour. The Jungar wild horse is the world's only remaining wild horse population. By the late 1800s, they were nearly extinct, their presence reduced to legend. In 1876, Russian explorer Przewalski found wild horses in the Jungar Basin and brought them to Europe. They came to be known as Przewalski's horses. In 1985, a group of these horses returned from Europe to the land their kind once roamed. Their sandy brown coats help them blend into the desert. Their wide mouths are built for chewing tough desert plants. Even while drinking, a lookout always stands guard, a habit born of instinct. They drink at steady water sources daily, marking territory through routine. Deep in the desert, the mating season begins quietly. Fights over breeding rights are inevitable. Nowadays, the Kalamali Ungulate Nature Reserve stands as the world's largest wild release and breeding site for Przewalski's horses. In Altai, autumn begins, once again with the rivers, flowing beneath the peaks. Is China's only river that runs to the Arctic Ocean, the Irtysh River. Meltwater fills its winding course. The river cuts through the granite mountains of Kekatuhai, racing north all the way to the Arctic Circle. The unknown always sparks the urge to explore. Over 10,000 years, drawn by that urge, people have launched journey after journey down the Irtysh River.
I was born at the river's source. When I was little, I'd follow its flow and wonder, what's behind those mountains? And where does this great river end? Maybe it was growing up in a place like this. The river kept pulling at my imagination, and finally I decided I had to follow it for real.
A single river can inspire a lifetime of wonder. Nature is vast, but curiosity is greater. On the Irtysh River, explorers abound. The river winds endlessly north.
On the road, I met all kinds of people. Russians, Conti, Mansi, and Nenets. Every encounter felt meant to be, and every meeting felt like it was destined, a line already written in my story. And with every soul I crossed paths with, I'd ask them to say, "Hello, China."
Hello.
Hello, China.
Hello, China. Hello, China.
Hello.
China. Across the Altai's south, Teotihuacan Lake rests in silence. It feeds the Ulungur River. Its banks are home to the Tuva Mongolian beaver, known as the architects of the animal world. These beavers are most active when autumn arrives, frequenting their lodges and gathering food. Rising in the Altai, it skirts the Jungar Basin, winds through mountains and plains, and rolls grandly westward. Finally, it enters the 1,035 square kilometer Ulungur Lake. At the mouth of the lake stands the ghost city on the water. Yardang formations carved by wind rise starkly from the shoreline, like a fortress, guarding the Ulungur Lake. Also referred to Fuhai Lake, Ulungur is the largest natural lake in Altai. It is home to dozens of fish species, including silverfish, perch, and northern pike, making it one of Xinjiang's richest fisheries.
I started waiting just before sunset. As the light faded, the blue hour came. Stars began to appear one by one. After that, I kept wondering, would the aurora show tonight? Everything around me was still. You could hear nothing but your own breath and the click of the shutter. But inside, I was full of anticipation, hoping the northern lights would break through the silence of the Altai night.
Under the stars, the sky becomes a vast velvet curtain. At first, the aurora shimmers in. Then it builds, wave after wave, until it lights up Altai's dreamscape. The meeting of stars and aurora is a rare gift Altai receives from the universe. Here, silence lets you hear your own heartbeat. The stars remain untouched by city lights. You cannot help asking, what is this dream trying to say? The noise of the world slowly fades away. In October, Altai begins its transformation into a world of ice and snow. Before winter buries the peaks, rangers begin their final patrol of the year, traveling from Kanas Lake to the remote and rarely seen White Lake. Hidden deep in the Altai Mountains is Ulungur Lake. The minerals in the water shine with a white sheen in the sun's glow. Locals call it White Lake. White snow, White Lake, ink-dark mountains. A snowstorm is about to seal off Kanas. Yersin and his team left Friendship Peak and the taiga forest. Then the snow starts falling.
Таң атар шолпан туып сызылғандай көзіңнің мөлдірін-ай Өзіңге тамыл жұтып сала берем Көңілім сені ойлап бұзылғандай көзіңнің мөлдірін-ай Құландай жүйрік майда жалай бар мекен бізде.
In Kazakh, the name Altai means half snow. In Kanas, spring, summer, and fall come and go in a flash. It is the 7-month-long winter that truly defines this place. A meter of snow locks Baihaba Village deep in the valley. Mist rising from the frozen river creates a stunning natural wonder, rime frost. Beneath it lies what skiers dream of most, Powder snow is known as dry granular snow. Small, tight crystals give it a dense, springy feel. Altai's premium powder is a hidden gem that draws skiers deep into the mountains for untouched terrain. Goiter gazelles stand out in the white. They're a nationally protected species. In China, when threatened, they quickly form herds and sprint away from danger. The number of goiter gazelles living in the Kalamali Ungulate Nature Reserve has surpassed 10,000. This thriving population embodies the wild's raw power and speed. Przewalski's horses grow thick coats to survive the cold. These horses were released into the wild in 2001, and now the population of the herd here has grown to more than 600 horses. Mongolia's wild asses, a top protected species, roam beside them. The vast snowfields give nearly 4,000 of them room to roam freely. Ancient species, raw wilderness, they call us back from modern life to the wild's beauty. Altai's winters are long and harsh, but camels endure the bitterness thanks to their thick wool coats, broad diet, and relentless toughness. At 9 a.m., the frozen Ulungur Lake wakes in the morning light. As temperatures drop below -40 degrees Celsius, sleds carry fishermen onto the ice to begin the winter hunt. They drill holes and drop the nets. A massive 1,000-meter net is slowly lowered beneath the thick ice, then pulled into position. During the coldest time of year, these fishermen work nonstop for around 2 months. Living off the land means respecting it. The land's bounty fills people with gratitude and awe, a bond with nature that endures through generations. Once snow seals, the mountains' Tuva Mongols switch their sleds for fur-covered skis. These skis have been gliding through the taiga for nearly 12,000 years. Even in harsh conditions, fur skis bring both speed and a sense of freedom, letting nomads move through the forest with the ease of riding a horse. In the snowy stillness, life is simple and honest, tucked away between the mountains. Kanas is perhaps one of Earth's last wild places. It proves that humans once lived in truly beautiful places. The Altai Wild Snow Park is China's largest backcountry ski zone. Blanketed in snow, Altai becomes a real-life fairy tale. Pure beauty, simple joy, and a way of living free from stress and competition. It sparks a longing for another kind of life. Coming back here feels like returning to where humanity truly belongs.